One guy said he looks like Kwame Eugene. He was singing like Kwame Eugene.
As an upcoming musician, right?
Yeah.
How can I afford a trademark lawyer?
Is it very expensive to get a trademark?
There was a company in China that actually translated his name, Michael Jordan, into what is known as Chow Dan.
What if you know that trademark is actually yours, but the person went first to register?
Don't pick a public figure name. If you do, it will not work. This is Bnoskka. I'm telling you, welcome back to Uprise Music Productions. Today, we are continuing our episode on our IP and all that you need to know. Today is actually episode 4. So if you are here joining us, please, if there are certain questions you need to know about general intellectual property as we started, try and check out our episode 1, 2, and 3. And then you can have your comments on these particular sessions, so that together with yourself and those in the studio will continue and to be able to educate ourselves. Right, so I just want us to introduce our people in our studio. They are here to also, help us get some questions. So let me start with the lady on my right. Hello, lady, what's your name?
I'm Irene Banfield, also known as Winnie Pearl. I'm a gospel musician.
Fantastic, gospel musician, wow. Okay, and the lady on my left hand, please, your name.
Okay, so I'm Margaret Doe, but you can call me Max. I'm a recording artist and a student of GIT, Ghana Institute of Journalism.
Fantastic. So welcome back to studio again, and we have a wonderful audience also in the studio. So if they have questions, just kindly raise your hands up and I'll hear your question and also give you an answer. And then those of us watching us live, you can also send us your comments. We will surely follow it up. This is Uprise Music Productions. We are here to give you good content. And if you want to publish your music, if you want to do digital distribution, make sure you contact Uprise Music and we are there and here for you. Right, today on our topic, we want to look at what is trademark. And if we look at all over the world, we have the protocols, the Madrid Protocol, which actually is a specific law that grants trademark regulations all over the world through the World Intellectual Property Organization's acts and conventions. So in Ghana, and also we do have the Ghana Trademark Act, which is the 2004, which is the Act 664. And it was also amended in 2014, which is Act 876. Basically, they just regulated a lot of few of the challenges that keeps coming every year. So that was that. So basically, let's now look at what is trademark. A trademark, everybody is engaged into business. Whether you sing as a gospel musician as a Winnie Pearl, or you are a journalist and also a musician as Mex, I'm telling you, you need trademark. Why do we need trademark? Trademark is a mark that is like placed on you to identify who you are. So it can be a mark as a tribal mark, okay? For example, we even do have a case where Michael Jackson made a specific tattoo and it ended up in court. Why? Because that particular tattoo became a mark and it's a traditional symbol for another country and therefore it ended up in court, right? So it's a mark. For example, Uprise Music, the design of it, you look at it, it looks like a quiver, okay, in a circle or a CD format. And then you see PPRISE. And then there's a music up on it, right? So that kind of a mark, when you see it, all that you think of is, oh, this is Uprise Music. So it could be even Uprise Music is now producing televisions. And so you see Uprise Music TV, right? And it can happen. So that kind of a mark is what we're looking at. There's also a name. For example, a name, you can have a name like in all over the world, everybody knows. When we say Burna Boy, okay, it has become his trade name. He may not have the real name as Burna Boy. he may have a different name, which actually is different from that name. So we have trademark, but the law is trademark, and its categories are service name, trade name, logo, symbol, and even holographics images are all can be as a form of trademark to identify a person, a product, or a service. Three things: a person, a human being, or a product like a microphone that I'm using, or a mobile phone, or a light, or anything, or a service you are providing. Like Uprise Music, we provide services, distribution and publishing services, and then also music productions, and even this particular production we are doing. So the name Uprise on it is a service we are rendering, right? So these are how the law. Now the law gives two meaning into how to acquire this trademark. One, you can do what we call register. If you want to go through the register in Nigeria, in South Africa, in all over the world, their intellectual property office, you go there, and then first you do what we call a search. So you pay money. It's not for free, please. You pay money, and then you search. So I want to come and register Bnoskka, Bnoskka, or Max, or Winnie Pearl, or Michael, or Kwejo. You want that name to be unique for you, or maybe Grace, any other name, right? So once you go, and then you pay money, they search. When they search, two things will happen. The first is it is available. If it's available means then you can go ahead to apply for it. If it is not available, it means somebody has already registered and has gotten the right. So you can't use that. Okay. That is the system. And then after you have paid and it is available, you pay another money to now make sure they vet it and make sure that it identifies with you as a sole person. And it's a form of monopoly. Once it's granted to you, nobody else can also use that same name. For example, in Ghana, Sarkodie, all over the world, I don't think any musician can come and say Sarkodie again. It's past and gone because the guy has gotten that trade name. And the law recognizes that whether it is registered or not. If it is not registered, the way to identify it is by the letter T in a circle. So you draw a circle and you put a letter T in it, a capital T or a block letter T. Then it means it's a trademark, but it is not registered. Sometimes people even put TM, trademark, okay, TM. It's also allowed by law. But if you register, then you can have R in a circle, okay? So you have a circle and then the letter R as in Robert, okay, or rabbit or Rita or whatever in it. That just first block letter in it. Then it means you have registered. And that if you register and you got your registration license, then they would even direct you that anytime you put your product on it, you should have the letter R in a circle placed beside it to identify that it has been registered. So these are the two forms. Now, if you have registered or you have not registered and there are issues with somebody using your name, your trade name or your trade logo or your trademark or your symbol, your identity in another service that you think that it is not you producing that same service or producing that same product, then the law will give rise into what we call as two forms. Those who first used it, okay? So for example, Bnoskka, I'm the first person to start using Bnoskka. I have not registered, but as long as I was the first person to first use it, then the law will recognize and give me that right because I have a lot of publications. Way back in 2015, 2014, you check the internet, you realize that, oh, okay, so he's the first to use. So the law recognizes that. Then we have what we call first to file. So for example, if Bnoskka, I first began to use it in 2014, but somebody has filed it way back in 2000, then it means the first to file will actually work. So in the law, every country rectifies their law to make sure that these two systems are in place. I'll give you one example in law that happened in a court case. For example, Michael Jordan, we all know he was a basketball player, and he stopped playing some way back in 1990s. And as at 2024, he's still relevant. There was a company in China that actually translated his name, Michael Jordan, into what is known as Chow Dan. This is a public information on the internet. You can Google and see. So the Chinese call Michael Jordan as Chow Dan. And what they did is they just took the same logo that he created with Nike, okay, that kind of symbol he was throwing the ball. And then what they did was change the name, call it Chowdan, and then began to produce a lot of wonderful products, balls, t-shirts, and lots of stuff. And but the product got into America, even though they were not selling in America, but somebody buys it and brings it and say, this is our logo. The name is something. They say Chowdan. Then the guy filed the case in US. Unfortunately, US don't have jurisdiction in law. In law, there's something we could call jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means the jury, the law aspect, and where it's supposed to affect whatever legal redress you are seeking for. So he lost the case in America because the case was actually thrown out. So he has to go to China to go and then start filing. He went to the circuit court, he lost. Went to district court, he lost. He went to high court, he lost. And he ended up in Supreme Court. The case took over 25 years. Yes, and when eventually Supreme Court heard the case, he won. Why? Because this logo looked similar. And it was not a generic logo. It was not anything which artificial intelligence has generated. It was something that was specifically made because of the way he was always scoring ball during his basketball playing days. And that is how he got that deal up to today. So these are examples of how you can be able to protect your trademark and trade logo, whether it is being used in Nigeria, South Africa, or wherever, because the law says that it is your integrity. You see, trademark are given by law to protect your integrity, to make sure that the quality of product you are making is always intact. That is why somebody say, I want to drive a Mercedes-Benz car, I want to drive a Toyota car, because they have that trade name, they have that logo, and they believe in it. So that is what the law actually tries to prevent. Look at these microphones people are using. A Rode, a camera, Olympic, television, Samsung, mobile phone, iPhone, or whatever. And a lot of products. Why? Because of the trade name. They look at it and they are so happy and they have confidence with it because they've trusted that brand. And so as an artist, if you want to own your brand, then you also need a trademark. And that is where I will end here, so that I can have a lot of questions from my in-house studio and those in the audience and those of you too watching, to be able to see how we can deal with this today. Right, so let me start left, right, center. Who was that? Okay, Max, let's go.
So, Bnoskka,
Yeah.
and can you highlight some common pitfalls and mistakes to avoid when trying to trademark your product?
Okay, all right. So basically, some of the common things you can try to avoid is to first search yourself. If you don't have money to go and pay at the registry department, make an internet search, and don't just search one and then you stop. Use a lot of browsers so that it can give you a possibility of however the word is being used.
Yeah.
And don't pick a public figure name. If you do, it will not work, because that public figure might have been there for a long time and they've gotten the first to use rights by law. For example, Canada, Japan, all over the world, you go anywhere, Papa Pakwesi Hindu, and then you say I'm Pakwesi Hindu, so it's my trade name. I'm telling you, it will not work. That is how it is. Yeah, so that's one to avoid, complications. Yes, give me more. Yeah.
Bnoskka, you mentioned earlier that you go there, you file,
No, you search.
you search,
Pay
you pay,
money to do a search.
and then when they finish the search, you pay again for vetting or something.
Yes.
And is it very expensive to get a trademark for your product?
Oh, yes, it is expensive. It is expensive. One, I can give you a raw figure. To search alone, you are thinking about $140. To search alone, $140. And if it comes out as available, then you are thinking about another $170 to apply first. Yes, it's not that cheap, Being sure is very fantastic. Somebody like, I had this dream that I'm very sure nobody has this name. How sure are you? Okay, so the best way to be sure and very, very sure, I would say do a search yourself. If you are still not convinced, in fact, the internet these days keeps a record of even things people are searching. Yes, so if you search and you think you are sure, it like you change the browsers, you change your terminology and still comes out to be not available on the internet, then you are getting somewhere. You are becoming sure. And also, if I were you, maybe you may even go and try the first payment. Go and do a search. And when you search and it is available, then at least you can forget about the rest, come home and start using it. Okay. Yes.
Bnoskka, so what if you make the payment, you search and the name is not available?
Yeah.
That means that your money is wasted.
Oh, it's not wasted. Now you are now assured. Like the first question say, I am sure. Now you are sure that somebody is using it. So you have to start to do rebranding. You see, I spoke about trademark as a form of branding. And in this case, when I say rebranding, means change your name, change your looks, change every mark that is able to identify you quickly as possible, so that you don't waste so much time explaining to your customers or your clients that I've changed my name. Why? Do that. So quickly as possible, try and change your name. Yeah.
Okay, so as an upcoming musician, right?
Yeah.
How can I afford a trademark lawyer?
Oh, good. So every country has a system, what we call a legal aid. And legal aid are there with lawyers with various expertise. Some are family lawyers, some are divorce lawyers, some are defamatory, some are contract lawyers, some are lawyers into Rotary and notary publications and all that. You go explain to them that this is the issue I have. They will give you a service at no cost. Yes, of course. Yep. That is if you are willing to be patient, because they've got a lot of clients they are servicing for free. So, free things don't come easily. Yes. So that is how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Bnoskka, please, if you find someone already using your trademark,
Yeah.
and you do your searches and you realize that you used it first, you can prove it. What process or how can you take the person on?
Okay. So if the person has registered, then unfortunately you are at a disadvantage. If the person has not registered, then first to use here will come in. Let's assume that who actually did first. And you can't use anything first and you will be in your room and you have sewn your clothes or you have sung your song and it's in your room. Nobody has heard it. How do you now claim that you are the first to use? So you might have gone to a program, sang the song, and there was a video recorded to show that indeed Winnie Pearl came here on this day, 2021, and made this song here. And then let's say 2023, somebody also began to use the same name, So there is something what we call demographics to show, okay? There should be a data to prove. You can't just go and prove with your mouth. Somebody must be able to bring an evidence-based report to show that indeed you have published it here. What I mean published by performance. You have performed it here. You've gone to this program. You've done this. You've done that. So people can testify. Indeed, in law court, it's not about your word. It's about testimony. Somebody coming to give a witness statement to prove that, yes, I can testify. Winnie Pearl did this program this day, and I was here. There's even a video footage to show. So how to go about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, the question she asked,
Yeah.
if there are procedures for trademarking your product, sound, your whatever, yeah. So I'm thinking, what if you know that trademark is actually yours, but the person went first to register?
Okay, so how do you know that it's yours? There's nothing yours for everybody. You see, in this world, even the word you are going to trademark, if it doesn't exist, in fact, in law, there's what we call generic names and terms. You cannot trademark them.
Okay.
Generic names and terms, like I am Amma, and then you have gone to trademark Amma, and you want to prevent everybody from calling themselves Amma. That will not work. Okay, I am Boati, so I want to go and trademark Boati. Nobody should call himself Boati. No, you can create Boati on a product. Okay. You see, but an artist to put the name Boating and say that I am Boating, nobody else should be called Boating. That is wrong. Okay. For example, let me give you one simple example, like the word special. Okay. Somebody has created a company that is producing something called special this, special that, special this, right? But the product is available. The word was there. But he's not saying that I am now an artist called special, so nobody should call himself special again. Yeah. He's just selling you a product, that this product is this, okay? For example, this microphone we are using, Rode. You know, people are called Roda. Yeah. And some people call them Rode, but this spelling of Rode is different. And you must have something to identify it. This is R, block letter R, with O, with something crossed in the middle, and a D and a E. So there's a mark. It's not just the name, but the symbol itself is the trademark. Okay? So if it is about the mark, then that is it. If it's about the name, then it becomes what? A service name or trade name. Okay. So these are how to go about it. Audience, more questions.
In Ghana,
yeah,
if you want to register any trademark, a logo, maybe your artist name, what's the first place to go? What's the
all right.
How do you start?
So in all over the world, the Intellectual Property Registration Office is where you go. In Ghana, unfortunately, we still not have gotten our Ghana Intellectual Property Authority or organization. So it is under the Registrar General's Department. So you go there, you can register your name, even your company and everything. The Registrar General's Department is where you can do that. If you want to use TM or T for your name you have created, then you have to make sure that that name you have created is indeed something you have created. For example, my name Bnoskka, something I have created. It doesn't exist, okay? So once I have created that, then anytime I do maybe Bnoskka clothing, Bnoskka this, Bnoskka shoe, Bnoskka TV, Bnoskka what, I can put T on it with a circle around it, or TM with a circle around it. But I can't use the R because I have not registered. It's only when I go to the Registrar General's Department, pay for search, pay for application, and then get the certificate license, 3 payments. Once that is done, then I can put R on it. All right. Yes.
So can you trademark your name already?
Yep.
Before going to register it?
Oh, the registration is what will grant you trademark.
Okay.
The registration is actually going to make sure that the name you want to use is now entered into a register. And so if there's any dispute on it, the law can now call the trademark office to come and give a testimony to your advantage. Okay. But you cannot trademark your name. No. For example, you can't even trademark, you can't even register. Like my actual name, Benjamin Odro Ahin Jr. I walk into the office. I say, I want to come and trademark Benjamin Odro Ahin. No. The laws prevent that. We call them generic names. Okay. Like there are a lot of people who are also born Benjamin Odro. And then you want to go and seize everybody. You know, it is not possible. Okay. Yeah, the law prevents that. Like I am Emmanuel or I am Michael Bountiful. So I am Michael Bountiful. Nobody should be called Michael again. No, it is not possible. Or my name is Grace. So nobody should be called Grace again. It is not possible. But you can have Grace Chapel International. That will be registered for you, but not as a trademark or trade name. Okay, that can be registered as an organization. Okay. That is allowed. Okay. So I can even have a company called Benjamin Odro Ahin Company. That one is allowed, but not as a trademark.
Right. I can trademark my artist name.
Exactly. Not your real personal name. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so in law, Michael Jordan's case that I made mention in China, where Michael is in US, he started in US and won in China. In law, there's two forms of court systems all over the world. We have the lower court and the higher court. The lower court is where you can have the tribunal, the circuit court. The higher court is the high court, the appeal court, and Supreme Court. Some countries, they have what you call the high court, the Supreme Court, and the appeal court. in UK, appeal court of appeal is the last. Like you appeal and you cannot appeal again. But in Ghana and other places, we have the high court. From high, you can appeal your high, and then you can go to Supreme Court. When Supreme Court makes a ruling, I think they give some number of days. You can ask for interpretation, or you can seek for further clearance. If that date passes, you cannot do anything again. So that is what it means in law. Once your case is ruled at Supreme Court and it is finished, there's nothing you can do. Okay? So that is what it means. So in this case, Michael Jordan and his company went to China and they won the case. Like I told you, they started from the lower court and ended up in Supreme Court. That is where they won. They lost with all the previous places that they tried to seek legal actions. But let me tell you, trademark is a personal private property. So don't expect that I have gone to register it, and so therefore the trademark office should be going out in town and be asking, Winnie Pearl, is this one yourself or is somebody else's name you are using? Or maybe you are expecting that the police people will now be protecting your name, so they'll be finding people, hey, Max, this one, have you registered or not? No, they can't do that. And nobody can do that for you. It is up to you. Like I said, it's your integrity. It is your mode of quality, standardization. So you want to make sure that people don't do something to tarnish your image or your product or your service. So you have to safeguard it. Once you realize that somebody is using the same name, you have to come up. I'll give you another example. You know, in Ghana, Daddy Lumba, Charles Kojofosu, one guy started to sing his songs and he passed on, I think somewhere in 2018 or so. Yes, and he has some funny Anochi Supremo. He began to sing, and if you are not watching the video, you might think that is Kodo for Daddy Lumba. And Daddy Lumba said, no, this guy is singing my songs and even trying to go to programs in my name. And it is not true. So he went to court, that the court should ban him, prohibit him from further engaging in such activities. And that is one example of a trade name that you want to protect it. Okay? Because it's integrity. He might collect money and run away and wouldn't show up in the program, and people will say that it is Lumba who didn't come. Okay? So let's try and protect our trademark, our trade logos, and our service names and our trade names for your own sake. In fact, if you let yourself loose, people will eat in your account. They'll be getting money. When you are at home, you are struggling. And before, when they come out with troubles, then the troubles will beat you. But this is where time will allow us. Unless you have 1 second. Okay, do quickly.
To the Daddy Lumba's issues.
Yeah.
Ruga had the same thing happening. There was this East African guy.
Okay.
He dresses like Ruga, goes to play shows like Ruga. Wow. And when they interviewed Ruga, he said that, they should just allow him to also eat because he can't really do anything to him. That's what he's also doing for them. So they should just allow him. So he just let go. He didn't sue him or anything. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, that like I said, it's a personal private property. He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
I can even tell you there was even one case that came up. One guy said he looks like Kwame Eugene. He was singing like Kwame Eugene. One guy looks like he's manifest medical and look-alike thing. I met them on the show and I explained to them. And to date, they've not come up again.
Oh, they've been coming up.
Oh, now. They okay, so that's a different angle. But these guys that I met them, and I in fact I've written a lot about it, and I'm sure. But that is where time will allow us. This is Bnoskka. I've been here with Max and Winnie Pearl, and this is Uprise Music Production for our 4th episode. Make sure you subscribe. Please click the notification bell as well, and make sure that you follow. Write us your comments, and we are here to attend to them. Today has been Trademark. Trademark your name, trademark your service, trademark your product, and make sure that you also respect other people's products. Thank you very much.